Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 3 of The Latitude Attitude, the podcast where we dive into the wonders of nature, geography, and the stories behind our landscapes. I'm Mike, your geography guru.
And I'm Amy, your resident nature enthusiast. Together, we're taking you on an adventure through the South Downs National Park in southern England.
Yes, the South Downs, rolling hills, chalky cliffs, and so much history. It's a geographer's dream. Fun fact, it's one of the UK's most visited national parks with over 40 million people enjoying it every year.
That's a lot of footsteps, but there's so much more to the South Downs than just scenic views. From its unique geology to its rich history and human impact, we'll be exploring it all. And don't worry, we'll keep it fun.
You mean hilarious?
Oh boy, let's get started before I regret agreeing to co-host this. So, for anyone who hasn't visited, the South Downs National Park stretches across Hampshire, West Sussex and East Sussex. It's famous for its rolling chalk hills, woodlands and, of course, the dramatic white cliffs of the Seven Sisters.
And those cliffs are a perfect example of geography in action. Did you know they were formed over 60 million years ago during the Cretaceous period? Chalk is made from the remains of tiny marine organisms. Over time, tectonic forces pushed the seabed upwards, creating the hills and cliffs we see today.
Amazing. And because chalk is porous, it creates unique habitats. Rainwater filters through the chalk, forming natural springs and creating perfect conditions for chalk grasslands. These grasslands are some of the most biodiverse in Europe.
Absolutely. They're home to rare species like the Adonis blue butterfly, skylarks and orchids. It's like nature's VIP lounge.
But it's not just nature that shaped the South Downs. Human activity has had a huge impact on the landscape too. Humans have been living and working in the South Downs for thousands of years. Mike, how far back does our history here go?
Way back. Evidence of human activity dates to the Neolithic period, over 5,000 years ago. People cleared woodlands to farm, leaving behind the open landscapes we see today. One of the most famous sites is Sisbury Ring, an Iron Age hill fort that's over 2,000 years old.
And that's just the start. Over the centuries, farming has remained central to life here. The chalky soil is perfect for crops like barley and wheat, and for grazing livestock. Sheep farming in particular has shaped the landscape. The grazing keeps the grasslands open, preventing scrub and trees from taking over.
Without sheep, we wouldn't have those iconic rolling hills. And it's not just farming. There's also a rich industrial history here. Flint, a hard rock found in the chalk, was used for tools in prehistoric times and later for building.
I love how the South Downs is a patchwork of natural and human stories. But modern human activity isn't without its challenges, is it?
Not at all. Tourism is a big one. Millions of people visit the South Downs every year to hike, cycle and enjoy the scenery. While that's great for the local economy, it can lead to problems like footpath erosion, litter and disturbance to wildlife.
Exactly. And then there's the issue of urban development. The South Downs is close to major cities like Brighton and Portsmouth, so there's constant pressure to build new housing and infrastructure. That can fragment habitats and change the character of the landscape.
Another challenge is farming itself. While traditional methods help maintain biodiversity, modern intensive farming can deplete the soil and harm ecosystems. It's a delicate balance.
Thankfully, there are efforts to address these issues. For example, agri-environment schemes encourage farmers to use sustainable practices, and the South Downs National Park Authority works on projects like restoring chalk grasslands and educating visitors about responsible tourism.
It's all about finding ways to coexist with nature. Speaking of which, shall we dive into how human activity and geography intersect here?
One of my favourite things about the South Downs is how it connects people, places and nature. The South Downs Way, a 100-mile trail, is a perfect example. It's a corridor that links towns and villages while showcasing the park's natural beauty.
And let's not forget the waterways. The chalk acts as a natural reservoir, feeding rivers like the Arun and the Ouse. These rivers have been used for transport, farming and even powering mills over the centuries.
And what about the coastline? The Seven Sisters cliffs aren't just stunning. They're also a reminder of the power of erosion. Every year, waves eat away at the cliffs, creating new features and shaping the landscape.
It's geography in action, and that coastline has also been a lifeline for trade and fishing. Ports like New Haven have connected the South Downs to the wider world.
So, Mike, what's being done to ensure the South Downs stay special for future generations?
Quite a lot, actually. The National Park Authority leads conservation projects like restoring heathlands, improving water quality, and protecting endangered species. They also work with local communities to promote sustainable farming and tourism.
And education is a big part of it. Schools and visitor centres help people understand why the South Downs is so unique and how they can help protect it.
One cool project is the Miles Without Styles initiative, which makes trails more accessible for everyone, including wheelchair users. It's a great way to ensure that everyone can enjoy the park responsibly.
I love that. It's a reminder that conservation isn't just about protecting nature, it's about connecting people to it. Alright, Mike, let's end with some fun facts. Did you know the South Downs has over 39 species of butterfly? That's more than anywhere else in the UK.
Impressive. Here's one for you. The Devil's Dyke is the longest, deepest, dry valley in the UK. Legend says it was created by the devil, but geographers know it's the result of glacial meltwater.
I'll take the legend. It's more dramatic. Okay, one last question. Why did the geographer love the South Downs?
Because it had so much range.
And on that note, thanks for joining us on this journey through the South Downs.
We hope you've learned something new about how geography and human activity shape our landscapes.
Until next time, keep exploring, respect nature, and don't forget to look after the land you love.
And always bring a good joke. It's the secret to any great adventure.